Welcome back. Welcome back. So today we're talking about something very special. A year ago this week, we both quit our jobs. So that's been great.
Yes.
Um, to start off, we're going to talk about the what it's been like to not work for the past year, and what it was like to give up our belongings and our home, and leave our friends and family behind. So for me, wasn't that difficult, honestly. I didn't hate my job at all, but I couldn't see myself doing it for another 20 years. It was very physical and just taxing, mentally and physically. And I didn't want to keep doing that until I'm at an age where I can't enjoy myself and retired. So hasn't
So
hasn't
so
been that bad actually,
so
not
get
working.
rid of all the diplomaticness of what you're saying. How do you feel?
I feel great. I,
And
I feel wonderful that I don't have to work. I feel great that she doesn't have to work. Um, I feel awesome. How about you?
I feel wonderful. I feel amazing simply because I don't have to fight traffic. I don't have a schedule. I can wake up any time of the day running that rat race. So I feel amazing, honored to just do whatever I feel like doing.
Work. So yeah, when it comes to giving up our belongings, that was a little bit more difficult. We had, you together for 25 years, you build up a lot of stuff. We definitely had a lot of things we had to get rid of and part ways with. Things
Yeah.
that, really just more material than necessary. We narrowed it down to enough bags to bring with us here.
We had no choice.
We didn't have a choice, yeah. Yeah, I know it's a little harder for you to give up some of those things.
It was, but I realized that I have memories of those things. Those are just materialistic things.
Mhm.
So those memories are always going to be with me. So
Yep.
I'm good.
Yeah.
The house, it was kind of hard, but they come and go. So we
Yep.
moved several times anyway.
Yeah,
So
it wasn't that bad. But yeah, that's 1 year.
1 year.
So we're here to talk about it and things you need to do to prepare yourself if you decide to make the same journey we did.
So you decided you want to leave the U.S. That means you made the decision and you're ready to go. So now what?
You got to research,
Research.
research. There's not enough planning really. There's things that we tried to plan for and we just didn't expect. Have as many backups as you can. Backups for your backups. Come up with a plan, whatever that plan may be. You need to do research, figure out what is important in your lifestyle,
Exactly.
because that will seriously dictate where you're going to go.
And have a comparison of 2 or 3 countries and have a pros and cons
Yeah,
of those, what you need, like Steve said, your needs, your lifestyle.
join some groups, join some Facebook groups.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably some Reddit groups and stuff out there too, and get an idea of what you may be walking into, especially when it comes to budgeting. And plan a trip. Make sure you got some money. If your plan is to quit your job and move, or if your plan is just to leave the United States and not quit, you work remotely. You got to have a plan. You got to know where it is you're going to go and how much money you're going to need. So you want to make sure that when you come up with this plan, that you can afford to take a trip to that country.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you can afford to take a trip, and you get to see what the country's all about, what the people are all about. Get a good idea of the climate, depending on the time of year, everything that you can think of and not think of, because there's things that are going to happen when you get there that you didn't expect.
Exactly.
So know what it's like to maybe have a cell phone there, currency, everything. Then
And
narrow down your
definitely, yeah, the currency, definitely take that into consideration with if you go to a country where you have the exchange rate.
exchange. Yeah, because there's a good chance you're gonna be losing
Losing.
money in that exchange. Yeah, once you've narrowed it down to 1, 2, 3 countries, whatever the lowest number, the better. Make sure you take that exploratory trip because it's needed. It's definitely needed. You don't want to
Yes.
go in
Blind.
blind based off of what other people say.
Yes.
Someone could tell me, a place is really nice, but I personally think the bathroom is disgusting. I don't want the place. Period. The rest of the house can go.
Okay, then I didn't know where you were going with that, but okay.
So what may be acceptable to one person may not be acceptable to you. You have to go and visit and see if these places are acceptable to you. and if
Yes.
you can afford to live in the places that are acceptable to you. So once you've made that plan, you've made those trips, and you know where you want to go, or you know for sure that you're going to be leaving the United States, one serious thing you have to consider is your friends and family. Are you going to be okay with leaving your friends and family behind? Of course, they can come see you, but not everyone can afford to travel places like that or are able to. Also, are they going to be okay with you leaving? If that is something that is going to have a very serious effect on you, then you probably weren't ready to leave the United States anyway.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean you don't love your family. It has nothing to do with that. It's just you trying to do what's better for you, for your health, for your mental health,
Yes.
for your life. You have to be able to make the decision for yourself. There's two of you, you and your spouse. It could be you and a family, but you have to be willing to take the other person away from their family as well. It is a very serious thing to consider. And like I said, if you question if you're able to before you ever leave, then you probably aren't able to leave.
If you have a partner, spouse, a family member that's going with you, you both need to be on agreement,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to bring someone and they were not ready.
Right, and they're resentful about the
Yes.
move. So yeah, definitely make sure that both of you are ready for that. So make sure you talk about this with your friends and your family. Be upfront with them. Let them know it's not, because you're just trying to get away from them or anything like that. It's just so you can prove yourself. If you think about people who travel for work already, they already do this. People in the military, they may be gone from their family for years at a time. So you have to understand that people who are willing to leave aren't unloving people. They still care about their friends and their family, but they're also very concerned about their own life. You only get one, so you got to live it the best way you can. Another thing you'll have to consider is mental health. Mental health can be a big issue nowadays, and a lot of people do suffer from different mental health disorders. And it could be, especially if you have something like anxiety or depression, you want to make sure that this move won't exacerbate those issues.
Yes.
You want to have,
A
a
good
support group.
support group, whether it's online or you've already researched an area or a facility that can assist if anything changes or you need immediate attention.
Right. It's one of those things where if you're going to decide to make the move out of the United States, and let's say it's because of your mental health in the United States,
Yeah.
well, you want to make sure that you're not leaving one issue and starting a new one.
Right.
Research, 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 as we said.
Yeah.
I know there's no way to predict,
No.
any kind of mental health issues, but that's something you want to be aware of. You might have a great plan, but you
Have to be
have to,
mentally prepared
right.
to make that move and accept all of the things that come with it, and know that you are strong enough to get through it. Because if you're not capable or are not at that point, you may want to wait a while until you are. If you need to speak to a therapist or a sport counselor to help you get to that point, do that before you make that jump.
Yeah. Another thing, we wanted to really encourage people of all ages, if you can afford it, if you're able, to not just leave the United States, but leave the state you're in, maybe. Leave the career you're in. Follow what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Have the courage to do those things when other people would tell you that, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how that might work. If you're passionate about something, whether you're just passionate about quitting your job early, like we were, or is there just something else you want to follow, you should definitely have the courage to do it.
Now, we're not saying, just take a leave and leave your job because you're not happy. Sometimes you have to stay there until you find that other position or a job that's more, what's the word?
Better, just better for you.
Better for you. Do that. Don't just, because I want to be happy. It may take a minute before you can get there, and don't make any drastic moves or decisions. And when we talk about relocating, like he said, it can be another state or just go on a vacation. And once you go, from one state to another state, try a different country. You see so many beautiful things outside of the U.S.
Like she said, travel. We got the bug just traveling. as much as we could, and seeing different parts of the world, seeing that people can be happy, as happy as you are, or happier with less than you have.
Yeah.
So seeing that, it will encourage you. We would definitely encourage people, especially young people, just get out, see the world. Don't be stuck in your bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, people everywhere want the same thing. They just get it different ways. People
Yeah.
they kind of want to be left alone most of the time. They want to have a good time when they want to have a good time. They want to be able to feed themselves and house
It's no
themselves.
different in the U.S. It's just you're in a different country.
Yeah, be bold sometimes, and you may have to take a little leap.
Yeah, and then see some. When you go to these countries, you see how happy people are. And not dealing with some of the things that we're dealing with in the U.S. But being here, people are just happy.
Yeah.
They just want to spend time with their families, and you don't see that in the U.S. anymore.
Yeah.
And not
as much. Yeah. Any bonus tips?
Bonus tips. Oh, when you decide, when we talk about planning, do your research with airlines. Do your research if you're bringing pets. Do your research on luggage and what things you need to take.
Bring,
can bring, can't bring.
Yeah.
You hate to bring something and you get through customs, they're like, nope, and start taking your stuff out.
Yeah. Especially in a place like here in Ecuador, you can't import a vehicle. And I was like, oh man, okay, well, guess we're not gonna have a vehicle. We didn't plan on getting one anyway, but if I could have shipped her vehicle or mine, one of the two, I probably would have. Traffic laws are the same here as they are in the States. So yeah, those are the things you got to find out in your research. One tip I would have is save your money for those trips so that you can make an exploratory trip if you're trying to go, even if you're trying to go to another state, if you're trying to move from Virginia to California or, New York to Florida, save up some money, take that trip. If you're going to another country, remember those flights fluctuate. So the time of year where you're able to go might be the most expensive. Who knows? Have that money saved up for your trips. Have a plan in place. Once again, save your money.
Yeah, save your money.
Skip a pair of Jordans this month or whatever.
It's not always Jordans, but okay.
One more bonus tip. Lifestyle's a big factor in moving to another country. If this is just me speaking, if you can't let go of the bulk of the things in your home and you feel like you got to ship everything, to wherever you're going, then you really, it feels to me like it's a little bit less of you trying to integrate yourself into that country and more of you just trying to bring your country to that country. Does that make any sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Like I said, I'm just speaking for me. That shouldn't be part of the plan, especially if you're a younger person. You you're just starting out. You don't have a whole lot of stuff. It's easier, obviously. So I would just say, yeah, save your money on shipping a lot of stuff to another country. It's not really necessary.
I will also add it to your tip is when you go to another country, embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace how their ways, embrace what they eat. I'm not saying that you have to eat off every vendor. I'm just saying be open-minded. Not narrow-minded, but open-minded.
Yeah. Well, thank you for this very serious talk.
The reading rainbow. The more you know.
So yeah, thank you. I'm gonna keep this in.
He's gonna keep this in.
But thank you for watching, and we got plenty more to come.
Bye.
Bye.